This is lesson 3. So we imported the AutoCAD underlay. We modeled the floor slab, extruded it to its depth. We came up with a simple site topography surface, and we modeled 4 exterior walls that go from level 1 to level 2. Level 1 starts at 4 inches above grade. Level 2 is at 9.8, so the floor-to-floor height is 9.4, which is a perfect multiple of 7 inches, so we can very easily model stairs from level 1 to level 2. So let's do some organizational work here. I'm going to start saving plan and section. So I created this section. I'm going to right-click and say Align View, and let's call this a cross section. And go to our scenes. Add a scene, save it as a new style, rename it, right-click, rename scene, section, cross. Let's go to the top, view. Well, okay, so we're going to contrive now a plan view. So I'm going to go to isometric view, and I'm going to cut a new section. Tool, section plane, place it on the ground. I'm going to take that section plane and lift it 4 feet into the air. Actually 4 feet 4 inches, right? Because the first floor slab sits at 4 inches above grade. So 4 feet 4, notice 4 typed into the control box. Enter, right click, oops. You always have to kind of select that arrow to get out of that. Right click, align view, and then we're going to add a scene and call it floor plan 1. Now we're not really concerned now with a lot of visibility settings and that type of thing. I'm going to create a third default view where sections planes are not visible and section cuts are not visible, and just call that a plain old isometric view. Add it as a scene. New style, isometric, all on whatever. You have an isometric view. Let's save this as lesson 3, just so that we have a separate file and we can continue to do our work. We need the floor slab for level 2, and because we're treating this as platform framing, that the outline of that floor, we'll take a little bit of liberty here to draw on the fly. I'm drawing to the inside corners, right, of the walls. I'm going to double click that and make that a group. I'm going to edit, make a group. I'm going to call this floor 2. So I'm going to make a tag for it. I haven't modeled it yet, right? I simply made that a group. So now when I double click this, what I want to do is offset it to the center line of the walls. Actually, I want to offset it to the outline of the core of the walls, which would actually be the 2x4 or 2x6 stud frame in light wood construction, but an approximation thereof is going to be the center line of the wall. So I'm going to And what's the center line of the wall? Walls are 8 inches thick. The center line of the wall is going to be at 4 inches. So I'm going to select my offset tool to, oops, wrong way. Again, it's a little devilish. I think it's what it's doing is it's snapping to things. So let's turn off visibility of the exterior walls, level 1. Oh, I didn't put that on exterior walls. So let's try again. I want to double click that group, offset. Not sure why I can't go in that direction. Let's see if I type in -4. That gave me what I wanted, because when I offset to the interior, it was asking for a positive value. So that's going to be the real outline of my floor. Just going to take the inside edges and delete them. And then I'm going to take the result and extrude it downward 12 inches so that the thickness of the floor is 12 inches. I'm abstracting it, simplifying it to a 12-inch thick element. Now, in actuality, that represents a bunch of different things. It represents the beams that make it up. That might be 9.5-inch dimensional lumber. It could be TGI, I-beams, you know, that are regularly spaced, and then the surface of the floor, the underside of the floor. But we're just abstracting it to 12 inches in a downward direction. So now when I close this group and I turn back on the visibility of the walls and I change my face style to X-ray, I can see that the floor is coincident with the exterior walls that bound it, that go from level 1 to level 2. If you can understand everything that I've modeled up to this point, everything we're modeling beyond this is essentially elaboration of the same skills and techniques. So I'm going to stop here and tell you that I will repeat the process of modeling the walls from level 2 to the roof, and the roof element itself in the same fashion by creating a floor. Alright? This is saved as lesson 3, so you can retrieve it from the rummage sale, which is otherwise known as my handouts folder.